Have you ever dreamt about sitting in the driver's seat of a '68 Ford Mustang with your hair flowing in the wind, a beautiful woman sitting next to you? You could make this dream a reality. You could buy a classic muscle car for cheap today, but tomorrow, they may be out of your budget. So you might want to hurry up. If you didn't know, these cars are awesome. If you're wondering, should I buy a cheap classic muscle car? The answer is a hard yes. And today, I'm gonna tell you why. Let's go. Let's just start off by saying that if you're watching this channel, you probably understand that the car you buy isn't about the gas mileage or the engine specs or the 100,000-mile warranty that comes with it. Oh no. It's about the feeling of cruising down the road with the windows cracked and the rumble of the road at your feet. It's about that emotional connection that you form with your car and the memories that you make while you're behind the wheel. There's nothing much more fun than that. Automotive bliss. With features like electronic steering, electronic braking systems, and the all-controlling nannies being included in almost every new car that comes to market, the feeling is being taken out of driving. And yes, while the absence of these features make classic muscle cars a lot less safe, it also makes them a hell of a lot more fun to drive. Just you, your ride, and the open road. Your control of the car is the only thing keeping you in the lane. And for those of us that know the joys of driving, there really is no substitute. And when you hit that perfect rev match in an old classic car, there's nothing sweeter. And it genuinely saddens me that the appreciation for these types of cars and the feelings that it gives you is dwindling. As we move into a new age of cars with assisted steering and cars that pretty much drive themselves, yeah, Elon, I'm talking to you. It really makes me wonder if Elon's ever test driven a classic like the '68 California Special. While I understand why manufacturers have moved away from the muscle car model, mostly in pursuit of greater gas mileage and additional safety features, there really is a unique feeling of driving one of these old school, badass set of wheels that is quickly being lost in today's car market. Yeah, just hop behind the wheel of one of these bad boys and you'll see exactly what I mean. And if you ever tried to do self-repairs on a 2020 Prius, good luck. Which brings up another amazing aspect of having a classic muscle car. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh. Ooh. This thing is hard to look at without the shades, because good luck trying to fix your ultra complicated electrical wiring in your Tesla Model X. It's not gonna happen. This thing is simple, and car repairs these days require a master's degree and a 5-year period of on-the-job technical training. No bueno. And in reality, the majority of people are completely helpless when it comes to repairing their cars. And so they end up spending a fortune at the mechanics to have them tweak wires and take apart the million little bolts and valves that are involved in newer engines. But doing a little self-repair on one of these puppies? It's a cinch. Most of the time, you're gonna need a wrench and a little willingness to get a little motor oil on your jeans. And if you're not familiar with car mechanics whatsoever, no problem. There's countless number of YouTube videos that will walk you through step-by-step how to repair your classic muscle car. I mean, try to find a video that tells you how to repair the engine of your 2019 488 GTB Ferrari. You can't. Why? Because new engines, they're so damn complicated. And on top of that, there's nothing like the feeling of getting your hands a little bit dirty and doing your own repairs and knowing it's done right. It'll only make you feel closer to your badass classic muscle car. Plus, yes, they are old, but spare parts for muscle cars are still readily available at most auto repair shops, and they're sold for pretty affordable prices. And I bet you can't say the same about the intricate bits and pieces of your modern car. Yes. And if you want to make your muscle car even more yours, you're in luck, because these cars are super easy to customize. So you can easily throw some lights, which these actually came stock, but at least I made them yellow. You can throw on a shaker hood, and heck, white racing stripes go a long way. And you are going to get look after look after look in the parking lot or the car show, or wherever you decide to take this thing. And not only that, they're really easy to restore, which leads me to my next point. In general, cars aren't really thought of as an investment opportunity, unless they're ideal cars or ideal muscle cars, or in this case, an ideal classic muscle car. And if you don't believe me on the fact that most cars aren't an investment, go check out this video on SUVs with the worst resale value. I bet you won't be surprised. And so it makes sense that most people sell their cars for significantly less than they originally paid for it. But what if I were to tell you that there's cars out there that actually appreciate in value? That's right, as classic muscle cars become more and more rare, and since this kind of car is having a resurgence in popularity, you may actually be able to sell your muscle car for more than you bought it for. Doesn't that sound like an ideal deal? Especially if you're willing to go through the trouble of doing some of the restoration work yourself. Yes, there's an entire industry surrounding classic muscle car restoration and reselling them for large sums of money. And I bet you've even seen one of those shows on TV like Overhauling or Counting Cars where they do just that. Now, I'm not suggesting you go out and buy a hunk of rusted junk and try to restore it if you don't know anything about car repairs. That's the worst idea you could have. But if you're willing to do a little bit of research and learn how to make improvements to an already nice classic car, kind of like this one, you might end up with a solid chunk of change in your pocket. That is, when you go to sell it after you enjoy using it. And to drive this point home, let's look at the case of the absolutely classic 1968 Ford Mustang California Special. From September 2017 to now, average sale prices of this badass Sting actually went up around $8,000. And what does that mean to me? Well, for the last 3 years, I've been able to drive around one of the coolest cars on the planet, in my humble opinion. And if this ever leaves the ideal stable, well, you get to make a little bit of dough on it as well. And that's what I call a win-win. But this has been such a cool car. It's been in the ideal stable for the last 7 years, and classic Mustangs are definitely a dream car of mine. And every time I turn the key, it blows my mind how cool 60s classic Mustangs are. Which brings me to my fourth point, that curb appeal, baby. There's definitely a reason you often see muscle cars as a main feature in some of your favorite movies. That sweet 70s Chevelle in Dazed and Confused, or that 69 Dodge Charger in Dukes of Hazzard, and the millions upon millions, well, not really, but sorta, of muscle cars that cameo throughout the Fast and Furious series. Except that R34 was pretty sick in Too Fast, Too Furious. Again, not the time or place, but if you want to know the prices of all the original Fast and Furious cars, go check out this ideal vid. As far as the muscle cars though, they just have this undeniable coolness factor. And when you pull up to the curb, people immediately see the style. The simple straight lines running down the body, and those oh so classic headlights that stare back at you like a tiger. Or in this case, a stallion. Plus, you got all these chrome accents that is just part of old school muscle cars' flair. And cars today just don't have the same styling as they did back in the day, do they? Sure, modern sports cars have a certain style in their own right, but if you were to ask me, they don't even compare to the appearance of the raw power that you get with a car like a Chevy Camaro or a Ford Mustang. Anyone out there that has the money to buy a brand new shiny Lexus? Yeah, that's cool, I guess, but driving a muscle car is a way to show your personality. It tells people that you have taste. And with how easy things are to customize, you don't have to stop at just the stock body. Oh no, you can throw on your own custom body kit, a spoiler, get a sick new paint job. Classic cars are your canvas for creating your ideal ride. And I guarantee that if you drive a classic, you're gonna get some serious props from the old timers, respect from your best friends and the friends that you haven't even met yet, and even some looks from the ladies. Plus, you'll be keeping a major part of American automotive history alive, which is what we're gonna talk about next. While yes, classic cars may not have all the up-to-date technologies that most new car drivers are looking for these days, they do have a certain nostalgic value. And everyone who drives one is playing a vital role in preserving an important era in automotive history. The muscle car, yes. This thing right here is arguably the most quintessential piece of Americana ever made. I mean, just look at that. And it represents a time where car manufacturers in the United States separated themselves from the rest of the world. And you know what they did? They created an entirely new class of car that was purely American. There are innumerable classic car clubs out there that gather to celebrate the greatness of these cars. And it's easy to find a community that values and appreciates these cars as much as you might. So by choosing to drive one of these cars, you are preserving a moment in American history. And that piece of history was when American manufacturers were front and center on the world's car manufacturing stage. And in the meanwhile, you're guaranteed to make some pretty special memories yourself, because most people that drive classic muscle cars drive them for life. For one, because they're so easy to repair, you can make them last forever with consistent maintenance. And two, because people who drive them are proud to be behind the wheel. So if you want to know whether or not you should get a cheap classic muscle car or an ideal classic car in general, the answer is yes, 100% yes, if you think you can handle it. Well, that's what we got for you today. Got a favorite muscle car? A Ford Mustang Stallion, a Plymouth Barracuda, or maybe a Corvette Stingray? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Ideal Media so you can see all the car videos you can imagine. And also, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. And if you disliked it, hit the dislike button not just once, but twice. Really let us know that you disliked this video. But I don't know how you could. And I'm Brad Danger. This is YouTube Girlfriend, and as always, keep living the ideal lifestyle.